2 things you never want to see in your dance class. Hey friends, if it's your first time meeting me, my name is Maya D, and after several decades of in-class instruction, I can tell you that there are 2 telltale signs that your class is in danger. You don't want to see these things in your class. And number 1 is you doing all of the talking. Learning is a bi-directional process. That means information is going from one source to the other. But it's going do 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 do. It's bi-directional, right? So it's bi-directional. It's going. The sources change. The who's giving the information changes. So if you are doing the only talking in the classroom, there's a problem. To be honest, just because students are quiet, meaning they're sitting quietly or they're standing quietly, does not mean that they're actually learning. Let's break it down. If we're looking at Bloom's taxonomy, repetition is one of the lower levels. Repetition being they're just able to repeat what you said out of your mouth. So that means when they're asked, they can say things like, oh, we're learning turnout. We are learning a jazz box. We are learning movements from funga. They're repeating what you said. On a higher level in the learning process, they would be able to then explain what that actually means in their own words and using dance terminology where appropriate. And on one of the highest levels of learning, they're able to create based on what you've taught them. So taking it back, reeling it back, you want your students to at least be able to repeat the things that you've said in your class in order to know that there's some level of learning going on. Because sometimes we have to meet our students where they are and then add information onto the foundation that they have. We want to add on so that they can be better, be stronger, and go forward. Telltale sign number 2 is that you don't have a grade book. A lack of a grade book means that there is a lack of a record. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about giving grades in dance class because I don't believe in giving grades. I do, however, believe in having an accurate record of a journey. This requires that I am keeping an accurate record of a student's progression towards a goal. So that means, let's go back to that turnout example. If students are working on turnout, then I've done some initial baseline assessment of that student. What do they know? How are they able to perform the turnout? This is where they are. This is where I want them to go, the journey, right? And along that journey, I have a couple of check-in points. And at those check-in points, I'm documenting it. So I have a record of that student's journey towards a goal. As a facilitator and a leader of the classroom, I'm directing a journey. So I'm keeping an accurate record of that student's journey. Oops. Reading from a note, sorry. I wanted to make sure I got everything in. Learning is a journey. We as educators document that journey with tools like those assessments, right? Those baseline assessments, those benchmarks, informal and formal assessments. So yes, looking at them, but even if I'm observing my students, I want to write down what I observed, so that at the end of the year or the end of the semester, the end of the term, I'm able to tell that student, I'm able to show that student their journey and say, look, this is what you've accomplished during this term, right? Here's some places that you've gone. Here's some places that we might need to continue to work on. I can also, because I have that record, communicate to my school, to my district, the needs and the successes of my classroom. Because if I'm able to do that, if I have that record and I'm able to speak to the needs, the successes, the goals, the dreams, the desires, then I can also talk about the impact of my instruction and how students have grown along that path. So this is another way to support. Keeping that record is a way, keeping that grade book is a way to support your students and support your programming. because you're helping them to navigate that journey. I believe sharing is caring, right? So I make these videos with the intention of sharing information so that we are the best educators that we can be for the students that are right in front of us right now and the students that are coming after them. This is actually video 3 of a 4-part series. Please take a look at some of the other videos and leave your thoughts, your questions, your concerns in the comments below, because those comments, that feedback, help us to all be better educators. It also helps me to generate ideas for videos that are relative to us as dancers and us as dance educators. I like to end this video on a positive note. So here are 2 telltale signs that your class is successful. Number 1, students are talking more than you, and they're talking about the content that you're covering in the classroom. Number 2, you have an accurate record of your students' journey towards a goal, the goals that you set out for your classroom. There are some other resources in the details below. Please check them out. Spread a good word, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.